Wait. Sorry.
No problem.
Hello.
Welcome. That was Dodgy.
Yes. She is sitting next to me. Oh, yeah, next to me.
I think I should just do an Insta Live with her next time.
Oh, yes. She will lead the conversation. She always has something to say.
I know. I've seen that earlier too. Okay, so just awaiting Kaushal, and wow, like this has been in the making for long, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Oh,
why? Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Kaushal, for some reason, is not able to join. Sorry.
Kaushal Singh?
Yeah. So he's ready and everything. I'm sending the invite, and just this thing. 1 second. Kaushal should join. Kaushal, please join from your phone. If it's a connectivity issue, or sometimes it could be, person joins only from their laptop, desktop, whatever device. So 1 second, I'm just telling Kaushal.
Sometimes the technical issues around the world are difficult.
My invite from your phone. Okay, thanks. 1 second for some. Okay, Kaushal has sent an invite. 1 second. Okay, welcome everybody, and as always, we are having good punctual start, and while we await one of our other speakers or guests, we welcome everybody here, the new joinees, the ones who are regular, and also most importantly, Jampa Mata, Dr. Jampa Mata, from currently based in Germany. They are a queer Buddhist. They have spent time in India and a few other South Asian, East Asian countries researching Buddhism some years ago. They are not only multilingual, they are also multifaceted. Oh, okay. What's happening? You know what, Jampa? I think I will have to call. Yeah. Anyway. Oh my God. Kaushal, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sure. I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, right. Glad you joined finally, because
Yeah.
there'll always be technical issue. Not always. Sometimes there'll be technical issues. Sometimes people don't join from the phone. So good. Oh wow, Kaushal, you joined, and like so many people are joining. Great. Okay.
You.
Wonderful. So we are in multiple countries. You both are in the same time zone, I think.
Yeah.
I am also in a slightly different time zone. Yeah, but both of you are not unfamiliar with South Asia. So welcome, herzlich willkommen to Japa, and bienvenue to Kaushal,
Merci.
because they're based
Merci beaucoup.
in, well, I think people can understand where they're based, but I'm not going to reveal it. Okay, we should always keep some surprise. Okay, but so delighted to have this conversation with you both. Thank you for joining and accepting. I know we did a little bit of back and forth last month planning this. It was like a very sudden thing, but it's also sort of a countdown, or let me say, precursor to, it's a very small effort to the International Queer Buddhist Conference, which Jampa is co-organizing. It will be online and offline. Jampa, please add or correct if
Yeah.
what I might be saying. Kaushal will be one of the speakers there, and I will be presenting along with another queer friend from India. And there'll be queer friends, queer Buddhists from worldwide, right, Jampa?
Sorry.
There will
Well,
be participants, whatever, speakers, presenters,
from,
dancers, artists from across the world, right, at
from
IQBC?
yeah, from all around the world. I founded IQBC in 2021. And meanwhile, I have some volunteers like Kaushal. Thank you very much, Kaushal, for being also one of the volunteers in the organizing team. And this year, yeah, it's from west coast of the US until Australia. All these time zones are going to join the conference and will be presenting. Our keynote speaker is beloved, famous Fresh Lev White. He's a coach, a trans man, a Dharma teacher. He's so beautiful. Every word of him is like a hug of loving kindness. It's beautiful to have him. And because of that, we will begin with his time zone because he is living at the west coast and so of the US. So for you in India, it's really late. I'm sorry for that. And for Germany, it's in the evening, and it's yeah. And in Australia, I think it's not. It's in the very very morning or something like after midnight. It's
Right,
awful.
right, yeah, yeah. Because just as an aside, I recall many years ago, I did a short project in Australia, and I was calling someone in the US, and I was telling them, "You are in yesterday, and I am in tomorrow." It is like, yeah, there was like a 19-hour difference because also, being in different hemispheres, the southern hemisphere people, whoever do adjusting of time zones, go ahead. Northern hemisphere goes behind. Yeah, so that's what. But anyway, lovely. And Kaushal, briefly to you, I mean, Jampa was saying that you are a supporter, but I think I mean, of course, you'll be speaking. But also, first of all, also, I want to just have the pleasure of introducing you properly. Of course, it is already known that you're Europe based and you are a queer Buddhist, but and that's a beautiful, figurine statue behind you. But you're also, of course, a human rights advocate, activist,
Yeah.
refugee activist, which is not easy at all. For us who are from South Asia,
Yeah.
whatever we try, automatically our skin color stands out, unfortunately. So many things, And
Yeah.
yeah, and you're also queer and you have a legal background, but you also work on health issues, health, gender,
Yeah.
sexuality. Actually, it's very difficult to say what you don't do, na? Yeah, but
And I'm a dancer also.
yeah, I
A
know. I was
beautiful
going to say,
dancer.
right, right. So, but all this is there. But Kaushal,
Hmm.
I mean, I've also done brief stints in other countries, and I know you moved in slightly difficult circumstances. That's an
Yeah.
understatement. Very difficult circumstances, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so, but how has your journey been, and what is the part or the role of Buddhism life, if I might ask? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me, and it's nice to see you as well, Jumpa also. And yeah, so when it comes to the Buddhism, I will say like this. So uh, when I why I start practice, because I feel a lot of suffering around me. I'm not talking about negativity. I'm not talking about something uh, how to say, some imagination. I'm talking about the reality. In the reality, when I talk and when I see something around the world, when I read about the Buddhism, I say, okay, it's going tally with my ideology, and it's about love and kindness. It's about forgiveness. It's about how to accept other people, how to accept yourself. So then I decide, okay, uh, maybe I will start to practice this way, because in the beginning I was thinking the religious is not my way. I want to because in one pace I was like a little atheist, because I'm coming from very traditional conservative background. In Sri Lanka, it's a very traditional country. When it comes to the Buddhism, it's not a philosophical background we can see in the Sri Lanka. It's more about religion. So they use political way. So I thought, okay, it's not my thing. But when I start to doing when I start conversation with other teachers, other people, especially from the Europe, especially from who practice really, and I thought, okay, it will be good thing for me. Then I start to practice, and then I saw then I actually start to questioning about how they accept queer people. That is the main thing, because it is my identity. It is about me. It is about my community. So then I realized, okay, they are accepting, but in a secret way. I will give one example. One time, I went to some place and asked ordination when I met not a teenager. I think in my university. I asked ordination. At that time, I came out and I work as a LGBTIQ activist, and people know in Sri Lanka little about me. Then they say, okay, we can give ordination, but it's not a good thing to give ordination for you kind of people, because of the pedophilia happening in the monasteries. So I say pedophilia and being LGBT is different things. It's
Wow.
not similar.
Yes.
And they didn't accept. They didn't accept that, because at that time I'm just a university student, and they are not way to listen to me. But I say, okay, I will do more research. Then I found out much queer identities from the Buddhism. Like I think I will share that in the IQBC conference. Soreya Bhikkhu. Soreya Bhikkhu is the transgender queer Buddhist monk, Arahant monk, enlightened monk. And the Vakali, he's a gay person, but he's accepted by Buddha at that time. And there's different stories, especially when it comes to the uh, code of code of conduct of the monasteries. We can see how Buddha say, okay, if someone's change their sexual identity, they can change monastery to the nunnery to monastery. So it happened in 2500 years ago in India.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. I mean, still we are fighting for the gender equality and acceptance for the toilets, washrooms. But at that time, Buddha gave acceptance. So why we are not talking now about that now? Why we are hiding that part? So then I start to think, okay, I will practice and I will spread this word, because we need to talk. We need to set up example. Then people can go the right path. So that is my practice actually, and I think for my activism and for my legal works and my refugee activism, I think I found very good solutions through the philosophical ideology of the Buddha. So yeah,
Really?
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
God,
Oh.
put it, Kaushal, as I said, I would like, they were saying about Lev. I want to just come and hug you. I don't know when in this life that will happen. And Jampa, I know it was. I don't know what to say, the universe or the Buddha willed it, I think, the way we both connected. It was so serendipitous, accidental actually. We both have a common friend who is a non-binary Buddhist in India, and they both Jampa and they have similar. Oh, Tashish, they are going to speak, right? So they both have similar ideas. It's just the flip of one. And I started tagging and following Jampa without realizing, and then here we are. Jampa, I of course the first time we had a live, that time we talked a lot about also the planet and how it can be queer, because Jampa and in the parts of Europe where Jampa has been or is, there's a lot of climate activism, climate change related. And we all admire Germany in how everything seems to be by default, climate friendly and planet friendly, obviously. But that is one part. But Jampa, I will, kind of park that for a little later, because we also discussed it in our previous conversation. Not that it should not be discussed again, but anyway. But the part about somebody like you, at least for us, India, maybe I can generalize it a little more to South Asia itself, defines what is our concept or our, what do you call, sort of, not even mystical, let me say, some kind of a very stereotypical notion of who is a Buddhist. Yeah. I know not easy for Kaushal to do what they're doing and talk about it. But whether we like it or not, when we are from South Asia, somewhere, even whether we practice it or look at it as a philosophy or a religion or whatever, somewhere, we are sort of, it's okay. Buddhism can be somewhere part of your life. It can touch it or something like that. I'm not being reductionist, but this is a kind of reality, especially, yeah. But Jampa, for you, it's not like that. And how
I,
you negotiate that identity apart from being trans and so many other things?
well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say, um, for me, Buddhism is a philosophy and not a religion. Not how it changed through 2,500 years. It's logic that over those long years, everything's changing. That is what the Buddha said. Everything is changing, and because people don't want to work with their brains, they don't want to think, they don't want to meditate, because it's not easy. You have to go this path, and you have to go it slowly and mindfully, and this is not what people like to. So they want to have it easy, and so they want to believe. They want to believe in the Buddha, like they want to believe in God, in the monotheistic religions, and they want to pray and say, "Oh, please give me this, give me that." And this is not Buddhism. Buddhism is about being respectful, being mindful, doing meditation, and accepting the whole life with all the colors. And this is what the Buddha did, and that is what Kaushal, you already said. The Buddha 2,500 years ago, for him it wasn't an issue whether you are LGBTQIA+. So what? It's about the path and not about your sexuality or gender. And this is the thing that attracts me to Buddhism, because I think, hey, that is a human thing.
Right.
That we accept each other, that we love each other, no matter how we are, how we identify, what we do where, or whether we are more femme or more masc or whatever. That is an issue of heteronormative patriarchal society, not of Buddhism.
True.
And yeah, it just changed because people made something else out of Buddhism, and so it changed in every country. So, but that is life. And well, I'm from a Western country. I grew up in a Christian surrounding, and I realized that this was for me the issue to say, oh my God, that is not what I want, because it's so narrow-minded, and I am not accepted as I am. Yeah.
True. Actually, thank you for elucidating that, you both, in different ways, because in a way, little bit, I'm sort of deliberately asking what might seem like as if I am being traditional, but that's not the intention, because I don't know, for generations particularly, I think I've told you both, I definitely have told Champa more than this thing, that we used to have people in our in my biological family and the surroundings, immediate extent family, be very much following Buddhism as a philosophy, you know, irrespective of whether they are atheists, monotheists, whatever, or agnostic, practicing, whichever. But specifically, me and my partner, we are so drawn to Buddhism in so many ways. Uh, my partner of 22 years. So it's like, somewhere I think, I don't know, the queerness of the Buddha or our queerness somehow automatically, sort of subconsciously attracted us. Again, both of us are, they are, I think, full-fledged atheist. Otherwise, I am questioning in my theism, but definitely agnostic. And the tragic part is, uh, this also comes from a personal sort of sense of pain. I think, as queer Buddhist, also, I think you will also realize what I'm trying to say is that we thought, or the way we were taught first in history and also later, because everybody wants to lay, especially in South Asia and East Asia, wants to lay claim to, oh, the Buddha is ours, in a very what do you call that, not in a shared humanistic way, but every other way, right? I'm not saying every Buddhist here is like that, or everyone who appreciates the real true Buddhist will not be like that. But no, my gosh, I mean, it is ridiculous that we thought that, I used to feel as a child, not understanding too much about these things, but I was like, history, one part of it is saying Nepal, one part is saying India, but the damn India and Nepal did not exist as they do now, right? So what is the problem? You know, okay, be proud, be happy that luckily, instead of that, no, lost everything about what were the Buddha was, but all so busy in claiming, Buddha is Indian, Buddha is Nepal. Oh, no, this, that. Okay, it is such an insult, because this was the last thing the Buddha was about. I am not
Yeah.
saying, you know, and not that I know, I definitely won't know half as much as you people, but it used to be, even for a child, who could even think a little bit logically, it was something which, because our whole thing was Eightfold Path, peace, this, that, and, calmness, and then people are fighting over it, something.
Yeah.
So, whereas the beauty of this, as I've, seen that on the IQBOC site and in some of the conscious connection sessions we've had. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
because of the sometimes I'm missing them. But Buddha is trans, queer Buddhism. And I remember Tashi said this at a meeting of, religion and queerness. Okay. I'm not saying other religions are all fundamentalists, but unfortunately, the fundamentalists have taken over, na? The conversation,
Yeah,
the discourse everywhere. So, how do people respond to? I mean, either of you can say. I think Kaushal said
mm,
it, but when you have, whether you like it or not, you're in geopolitically in a different country, different continent, right, Kaushal?
yeah,
Okay. How do people respond to you as a human? One is the queerness, one is the race, one is the queer Buddhism, right? Plus your activism and all that. And I know it's not easy, but how
yeah,
do they respond to you? I hope you don't mind my asking this, but I really
yeah,
want.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So yes, so before I come to France, so now for the moment I'm living in France. Before I come to the France, I live and do my activism in Sri Lanka. So when I'm doing activism in Sri Lanka, what they said to us, they say, don't promote Western propaganda in our country because you getting some fun money because you are gay. No, that's not true. We are not getting any money, any rupee, any dollar because we are gay. And
Mm.
if I don't know how people talk like that because I know some people when it comes to the transgender people in Sri Lanka, they don't have a much career spaces. So finally they have to choose uh, sex work in the street. That is the reality. But they still calling, there's still a name calling. You are getting some funding from the America, from the Europe to promote transgenderism, promote lesbianism, promote gayism in our country. That is what Sri Lankan people believe. And when it comes to the Europe, now I'm working with Europe community. So recently, I went to United Nations meeting, Europe and Central Asia meeting for the UNFPA. So when I participate that meeting, they asked me, "Okay, you are not a European. Why are you here?" Because they think I'm brown person, and I'm representing France. And how can I do that? I say, okay, I represent in refugee community in France and Europe because there's a much refugee and diaspora, immigrant diaspora living in Europe. So I have to represent them. So then they're asking, okay, now you are bringing your ideology as immigrants to our countries. So, and I will share one example with you. So I'm going to do some volunteering with some for LGBTIQ refugees in here. So people say, you are lying. In your country, there's no problem. There's no problem. You're happy. We are going for vacation. We don't see any problem because we are gay. I say, then you have to go and live. Then you will realize how it's problematic. So I see the both side. It can happen in Western world. It can happen in Eastern world. People not accepting. That is the big problem. People don't know what other people going through. So if people know what other people going through, I think they can accept people. So when it come to myself, when it come to, okay, I'm stable, so I can say I'm not facing much problems in here. But I know how many people is going through racism attack because in France, people vote to left government. Unfortunately, the president play with the democracy and make a right wing parliament now. So, but the people elected left wing. So then now what they do, they are putting some barriers, they are putting some laws against us, and they want to limit us. But they are not seeing what people are going through, and they don't talk about. I'm sorry to say that, but we know how we suffer from as a colonization time,
Right.
how we suffer, how we
Mm.
suffer. Now, then they loot at our resources, loot at our history, loot at our much things, and they bring that here. And now there's a gap. So for that gap, people have to left their country, and they actually, when it comes to the Sri Lanka, I will give another example from Sri Lanka. British came to Sri Lanka. At that time, before the British came, we had a gay queens, lesbian queens, queer people everywhere. But after the British people came, what they did, they put some kind of a law, as well as the India. They put a penal code 365 Sri Lanka. So 365 is criminalizing LGBTQ community in Sri Lanka. So now we facing much problem, but they saying no, you are lying, you are not how to say, you are not facing reality, some problem. So I think we have to struggle, and now we have to overcome. So we are coming to Europe now to find seeking freedom.
Right.
So I think people have to accept other people, and people have to know other people going through something. You only see, like iceberg, you only see 10%, but there's 90% people are struggling. So we have to understand that. That's our fight actually. Yeah.
I think, Koshak, you are so right with what you said. As living here in Europe, I see that the right wings are gaining power, or they seem to gain power in elections, and so there is the idea to bring migrants back to their countries because of these weird ideas that they don't have any problems. But when you flee from your country, when you want to escape, then you have reasons. Whether it's hunger, or you have nothing to eat, or you are escaping war or discrimination, being queer or whatever. Uh, we are human beings, and we should accept us. That is the essence of humanity, that we live in one world and not say, hey, these people, they don't have any problems, they are not allowed to come to our countries. Uh, it's horrible what happens at the moment. Yeah, yeah,
And,
Ritesh.
and what Kaushal said just now is almost exact to the word, except on the colonial section, is exactly the same. No? Until so what I there it was 365, here it is Indian Penal Code section 377. Just a few numbers difference, but my goodness, I mean, not my goodness, their badness. 60s, okay, they introduced it, huh? The damn Victorian prudery, as Kaushal exactly said, there is indigenous queer culture in our part of the world. No? Let us, we can, say broadly the South Asian subcontinent for, I don't know, thousands of years. I mean, before that, we don't know when history or how it was recorded and which languages and who did it, because history is also biased according to who writes and what, right? About whom. So, anyway, it's like if people ask me, I remember another queer person, and I think, again, sorry if I'm repeating, but we were presenting at an anthropology conference last year. Anthropology, theology, spirituality, everything they mixed. And then, but anyway, luckily a few queer people, we dared to go and talk about ourselves. And we were like, do you know when queer people came into this universe? uh, we were like, people were like, it was such a simple question. We were like, oh well, when every other human came, cures are there. It's not like we got dropped from another planet, universe or something. Definitely in India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they did not come from the West. It's not urban, fashionable concept. No, no, no. We are all here and thriving. And suddenly, this damn colonial thing came in the 1860s, and only in 2018, for the last 25, 20 to 25 years, it's been going back and forth. Finally, in 2018, believe me, they still did not repeal that section fully or rescind it. You're a lawyer, so you know these words make so much difference. They just read it down, as if they're doing right. And and colonials who introduced this in their countries, they went back and repealed it, much earlier in the 60s, 70s. But here, these people had to have that hangover forever. So it just continued. I mean, I'm laughing about it, but it was not fun at all. Not that today everything is hunky dory for us in India, as Kaushal said. Sri Lanka is the same, and so many of our immediate neighbors are the same, who we were all one at one time. And even now, we are have more commonalities than differences. Right. Oh, Dodgy.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, yeah. You want to comment on that? I think,
Yes, actually, I want to add little comment, ongoing this for the discussion that so one of my friends, they're also from queer community who live in Europe. So I'm going to little politics now. So we can see how in Europe how the left wing and the right wing are working. So, and we can see now people are voting much for the right wing because of they think because all the problem start from the immigration. All the problems start from brown skin or black skin or North African community. But no, I mean, here we can see much problems happening in economically. They are not addressing that, but they show, because of the immigrant, we are facing this because of this economic crisis, because of them. No, they have to get a much good political decision for giving a solution for this economic crisis. That is not because of the immigration, only because of the immigration. So, but I see how queer people in Europe, they are now voting or promoting right-wing ideology, and they say, okay, if the right wing comes, we are safe. No, you are gay, you are not safe. You are queer, you are not safe. Because after removing all the immigrants, after removing all the brown skin, black skin, or North African community, then they turn to you and they start their mission.
Yep.
So I think we have to understand about that intersectionality, how it's work. We have to help each other. We have to help other communities also. So if you start to discriminate or stigmatize one community, it will come back to you as a bad karma. I think as a yeah, that is the Buddha's teaching also.
And this is the same in Germany, Kaushal. The right wings, they say we have to send the migrants back, but they also say we have to send all those somewhere into probably concentration camps, I think. Who don't fit in the society as right wings want to have society. And that is a fascist society and not a democratic society. And so also queer people, LGBTQIA plus people, they will suffer when we just give up, when we don't stand up for our rights. And that is what IQBC is trying to do every year. It's an annual event to make this clear, that we have to work all around the globe together for our rights. Queer rights are human rights, and trans rights are human rights. And because of that, it's this year it's Buddhism is trans is the title, and that means for me that I got really threatening messages because yeah, because people say, hey, transness is well, inhuman or whatever. It's not. We do not want such a thing, or such a thing doesn't exist, and it's not allowed, and and it's so, well. It was ever there. It was. We always existed, and as Charles mentioned, also at the Buddha's times, there were trans people and queer people and LGBTQIA plus people. So no, we will not give up. We have to stand up, and that is why I love this conversation today so much with you, Ritash from Run.org, and with Kaushal. You recently founded Rainbow Europe, and working together with you as International Queer Buddhist Conference, and that you will be presenting on my conference. Hey, that is such a pleasure that we from all over the world come together and stand up. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, you answered, uh, um, actually what I was anyway going to ask, right? And thank you so much for that, saying that, because, right. See, the thing is, and I would be unsurprised. Like you said, now you get hate message because obviously right wing everywhere, and it's so shameful and tragic and outrageous that in India we claim to be the world's so-called largest democracy, but it is completely fascism for the last on the trot, uh, worsening. There is so much, very pretentious. It's such a farce to be open to, like, it's like, and I think all of us are in that vulnerable situation. I understand why people say, they do want to be quiet, they don't want to say, and all that, right? It's not that all three of us have some extra courage or whatever, but I think we feel like expressing. But unfortunately, even in India, the so-called freedom of expression, there's hardly any freedom. Young people of all various religions and faiths, and more importantly practicing Muslims and Dalits, are in jail just because they are questioning whatever is said in the name of so-called democracy, but it's nothing but it is very undemocratic. And they I mean, it's so bad, so shameless, that they attack people of particular identities and then blame them for it. And I think y'all can also relate to this. And it's on one side also, like Kaushal said, something as fundamental as the right to use a washroom, or, let me get even
Yeah.
grosser than that, right to pee, right to please yourself, or, it's a biological thing, right? Yeah, you can't. What goes in has to come out in some other way. You cannot do that, or you have to be very mindful, you know.
Yeah.
So all the so-called laws and policies, literally the ground realities, even in the so-called metropolitan urban spaces where we think there is some anonymity, something progressive, you are not sure that you can easily use a public toilet. Yeah. And I also see Jumper vigorously shaking their head, and it is shameful. And 2 weeks ago, Noir was also reiterating, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that it is not very different in the US. There is something called the bathroom bills over there, right? Just
Right.
search for it, every state almost, it's like. And all the time, the healthcare is such a thing, something as fundamental as, you go, like Kaushal exactly said. See, it is not that we can't have mental health issues, but the way we are denied healthcare, or we are stigmatized so openly that, oh, if you come, if you're queer, it has to be either about your sexual disease is not about sexual health or
Yeah.
mental health as in a very derogatory way. It's not about mental health. You people in India, it is a very crude term used in multiple languages. You're mental means you're out, you're mad, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Automatic where people are completely stereotyped like that. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
anger and its thing, but it is like an everyday reality. You're right.
You see, speaking of mental, no, of health care for queer people, I was searching for doctors who would be respectful towards me and my siblings here, and it's funny that. Being on IG here on Instagram, that I found one group. It's called Queer Med, and there you can. Well, it's for Germany. You can find medical doctors in your or next to your city, and I I I was really. Yeah, surprised that only one was mentioned next to my city where I live. Only one doctor who is queer
Yeah.
friendly. And so it's really difficult to get an appointment. Yeah, healthcare is really a big issue, and feeling accepted as queer people or as trans people. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need doctors who support you.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
May I? Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
I couldn't hear
Sorry,
you actually.
sorry. Sometimes I accidentally move my thing. So, are you going to respond to what Jampa said? Otherwise, I wanted to ask you a relevant
Mm.
question. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I know you have, it's. I know there's a lot of challenge in the way you are now, but you're so open and bravely fighting out so many things, right? And as you say, just like in identities, in ideologies, in issues, also there's intersectionality, na? So, about healthcare, um, did you know, did you before going to Europe? I don't know how much time you had to think and then whatever, but are you in a way surprised or disappointed that even in Europe, at least in the so-called the wealthier or the so-called developed parts of Europe, still there is so much queer phobia or denial of basic healthcare to queer people, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, actually, thank you for that question. It's
mm,
I can say like this. I never in Paris. Much people are like know about what is LGBTQ community, but when
mm,
it come to the go to the countryside area, it's totally
mm,
different.
mm,
So when it come to the countryside area, they not see no exposure much LGBTQ community. So when they saw someone with a feminine ideology or some female figure with uh, masculine appearance or whatever, they start to stigmatize. Recently, I saw a news in Paris in a French news channel that they still face much homophobic things in a countryside area, but there is no police involving. When people call to police, nothing happened, no solutions. And again, I will come back to Paris. So in Paris, if you are queer, but if you are from immigrant community, police not taking much seriously your problem.
Mhm.
So two of incidents I work on recently. So in that one case, that person got attacked
Mhm.
uh, after his employment. Then he went to police, and he has some kind of a how to say there's a fractures in his fractures also, but police didn't care. and he gave photos, he gave address of that person. Still, justice not happen. So I think because of he's from India and he's gay, so we can say we that is the reasons we can see. So police has to do more things. So again, for the health sector, I will go back to Sri Lanka, because in Sri Lanka we are still struggling. We can see how people are struggling, because I share one incident which happened in Anuradhapura district in Sri Lanka. Anuradhapura district is it's like a north central province of Sri Lanka. So it's a very rural area. It's very far from Colombo.
Mm.
So one of two men, boyfriends, partners, went to hospital, and they talk about their sexuality with the doctor. And when they come back to village, they face big mob. All the villagers came, and the Buddhist monk came, and after what they did, they tied up these two guys, and they start to hit these two guys, and they destroy all the accessories, all the equipments they had. So there's no confidential, but I know in the medical system in Sri Lanka, they have some kind of legal papers that we have to protect. We have to keep our confidentiality when it comes to the sexuality. We have very progressive laws in that way. But when it comes to the ground reality, we can't see it's working.
Yeah.
So I think that is very bad situation which happened. And so I normally I'm when I'm at Sri Lanka, I went to Colombo General Hospital several times for some work. Not actually, I never hospitalized in my life, but I went for some work. So when I go and talk about LGBTQ issues with doctors, they are treated in bad way. And unfortunately, I will share one example with you.
Yeah.
So I start to work with NSACP, and NSACP means National STD and AIDS something. It's about STD clinic. So in that clinic, there's a person. He's a doctor. I know that person from LGBTQ community, but he's very discreet. And then he start to spread homophobia against other people. Now he's living in Australia and having good life. But he's when I go to the meeting, he always say, okay, you can't always bring your gay girl community's issues here. But I say, okay, global fund funding you because of the homosexuality, because of the transgender people. But now you say you can't bring always these thing issues to the hospital. So I don't know, maybe because of internal homophobia, maybe that person behave that way. But because of that, he bring lot of policies at that time. So still, I know people are suffering. But now he's spending good life with his boyfriend or partner in Australia. So that is what happened. Yeah, over to you.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to keep repeating, but Kaushal, it feels like you're talking about India also. It's hardly anything different. But since you mentioned Australia, I know a couple of queer people in Australia who, when they're open, and especially they're supposed to go to the so-called trans affirmative, trans health clinic, there's not much difference, because that's what earlier my thing to Jampa also was, that in countries like Australia, US, maybe Germany, France, we expect that things will be so different, so accepting, and so, at least in the cities. And it's such a shock when you hear, they're not very different. Or after saying that this is a gender health clinic, this is a trans health clinic, what is it that, Jampa? Is it something to do with basic? Yes, it's inhumanity is one thing, But is it also insecurity? I think, all this are combined, right? The queer phobia, the
I
racism.
think, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think people are insecure. Those who bully are not sure about themselves. They must have difficulties with their own sexuality and gender. Otherwise, why should they bully others or threaten others when they would be clear with themselves? Because LGBTQ people don't steal anything away from them, so it wouldn't be an issue. And yeah, the thing with being safe, not only in the countryside but also in the cities, that seems to be an issue all over the world. And yeah, surely it is more scary when you are brown and black, but it's also when you look like me, yeah, the people don't know, is this a woman, is this a man, what is it, is it an extraterrestrial or what? And last year, coming from how do you call that? I had to buy new glasses, and I came back to go home. I was going to my car, and on the way to my car, someone came from behind and slapped me in the face. The new glasses fell down, and I didn't know how to react because I had a bleeding nose, and this person was laughing and saying, "Oh, fun to slap queers," and then running away. And I couldn't see anything, and I was I was really scared. And the glasses were broken, the new ones, and so. When I was back home, I was really somehow traumatized, and when I asked the police, I told them this incident. Then they said, "Yeah, how did this person look like?" Yeah, I couldn't describe. I was so shocked. So hey, nothing happened. Yeah, so. It was just a thing of bureaucracy. It was written down, but they didn't get the person, and things are difficult. So I'm really happy that I have always my dog, or normally I have always my dog at my side. Then I'm not so scared because she's big. But no, it's really an issue all around the world, and it is because the right wings are gaining power, and they seem to be. I don't know. They seem to feel insecure about this so-called wokeness, and that is so weird. Because, yeah, as I said, we don't steal anything away from cis straight people. So what?
Yes, totally. That's what. No, more power to you both, strength to you both, and really sorry and disappointed to hear these things. And sometimes I can't help feeling, Jumper, all your so-called apparent privileges of being in your native country go away because you're queer, openly queer, right?
Yeah,
That's what it sounds like, and that is not at all comfortable. I mean, what if you don't take Dorji along with you, or what if and it should not be mandatory, right? It should not be, and everybody does not have a Dorji, right? And Right. And I mean, Dodgy can be busy, bored, unwell, whichever, tired,
Mm,
right?
mm,
And then, and it is not Dodgy's duty to protect you. I mean, that's a different thing. It's natural to,
mm,
uh, uh, pets and all that. But yeah, there should not be any pressure on her, right?
yeah.
So, I mean, this is so the thing. And Kaushal, when Jampa kept saying, right, we queer people do not steal anything, we do not go and
mm,
attack. I think it reminds us, especially also of what happens, like you told about Sri Lanka, in India also, and I'm sure it is the same thing in
same.
Pakistan, Nepal, and Bangladesh, especially that oh, they're queer, they're wrong, they are bad, they are thieves, they are kidnappers. Regularly these things are told against queer people all the time, and it is whatever I'm repeating this in a different way, whatever the so-called affirmative policies and the laws, uh, the ground reality of the insecurity, the bias, and most importantly the influence of heteropatriarchy, it has
Mm,
not changed. Actually, it's worsening, na? Uh,
yeah, that's true.
yeah, 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 yeah. And
I mean, yeah, so when it come to the actually, yes, I'm first, I'm really sorry what I heard from
mm,
Jampa. I'm really sorry, Jampa, actually what you face also.
mm,
So yeah, I mean, people only see our vulnerability.
mm,
That is the thing. People only see, okay, in Sinhala there is a very good phrase for that, expression for that, but I don't know how to explain that in English. Yeah, it says that the person always vulnerable, they always get attacked. They
mm,
always make. I mean, the society want to victimize them always, and some people they want to show the support, but
mm.
what they say in Sri Lanka most of the time say, okay, they have some kind of a hormone imbalance, that's why they became like this. So we have to show the pity for them. Or maybe they will say, oh, because of them they had a bad karma from past life, or they did much cheating against husband. So that's why they became a gay person or lesbian or whatever or transgender person. So that is the ideology. So they want to put much label and vulnerability on us. So some people use that is in very violent way, and some
Mm.
people use like a supportive way, but it's not supportive. It's like they try to put us mentally down.
Right.
So I think we because there's a little thing I have to mention that lot of time we lot of people, especially from in South Asia, I can say, they want to make a some kind of a videos or promotions or advocacy that, oh, okay, they are good, they are very good because they face much problem like that. They are not showing empowering
Right,
characters,
right. Very
empowering
pity.
characters. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's true. I mean, we don't need to they don't need to show the pity, just give our space. That's what we ask. So, and don't try to limit us, because
Very good.
if you, yeah, they want to limit us, and then they will say, okay, we will give you this. No, we don't need. In here, I will give you one example. I went for audition, and they say, oh, we never had some Indian people. It's very good to have Indian people in our dancing thing, because everyone are like white. So I say I didn't went. The next day they invite me, but I didn't went because I don't want to show my brown skin or Indian or South Asian root. I just want to show my talent. That's all. I think
Good.
it's happened to LGBTIQ community also, because they want to limit us. They want to just put us in showcase. They want to say put like a tick. on the box. That's all. That's why still we are facing vulnerability. That's why we are still become a victims. So I think we need to bring empowered characters to the society and change this narrative, change that perspective.
Oh,
Yeah, that is my
that we will do in October 18 to 20. Save the
yeah.
date and register. And yeah, we had the 29th Conscious Connection of the IQBC about boxes, and that is what you mentioned, Kaushal.
Yeah, yeah,
People want us to put in boxes and say, oh, these are so poor people. We have to pity them, and we, yeah. No, these boxes, we don't need these boxes. We can be just the people we want to be. And
yeah,
those who need the boxes, who put the boxes onto us, oh, they are the poor ones, because
yeah.
they only can think in boxes, and they can't be open-minded. And yeah. Uh, yeah,
Thank
when,
yeah. Sorry, did I interrupt? Any?
all right, go
Yeah,
ahead, go ahead.
yeah. No. Actually, again, it's fantastic. We are all so much in sync that you people are saying things which I also want to ask. But it's wonderful that you covered so many spheres. Yeah, it's ridicule, sympathy, pathologizing. Okay, because you are sick, you have this, you have that, that kind of thing, right? All the time showing, uh, you know, somehow putting us down or exhortation. That's also in a very bad way, in the sense, oh my gosh, I mean, the way they portray gay and trans characters all the time. Even sympathy, we don't need sympathy or pity,
Yeah.
but very little, or exhortation. Oh, like for instance, the two lockdowns, we had lots of relief material we had to raise, we had to find, and all that. Everybody wants to donate to trans people in the cities and take a photo. You know, by the lockdown, it's people have no food insecurity in India. The tragic thing is, we have overflowing government granaries and towns. On the other side, there is food shortage. Okay, that's the contrast to this blessed country. So, everybody, only the local politicians, is up down. They figured out what will get their action. So everybody turns people to a public space, give ration kits, and take photos to the extent that they, create unsafe environments for them. And which is why also, this exoticization, or ridiculing, caricaturing people in the media is so harmful, because like Kaushal said, or like Jampa, you also said that every time they are about, oh, are they man or woman, is something wrong with them? They are harmful, they're the whatever, their ability to, first of all, humans is almost gone or not there at all. And it I remember, like, some people know, they'll be like, very coolly, they'll say, oh, it's so confusing. Yeah, by the time we understand, you're bringing it new terminology. This is our definitions, our labels, or whatever, our vocabulary, our terms for ourselves. You don't have to say whether we should identify as this or not, or that there is only one definition of trans, or one in which a gay person or a queer person can be. So everything has to be done according to the heteronormativity, and if it is inconvenient for them, if it is confusing for them, then you can't have. I mean, what is this? Supposing it was the other way around, I always say, you are abnormalizing us. We don't normalize, we are not so stupid or so publish that keep normalizing you, because actually speaking, as a queer person, for me, a heteronormative person is very abnormal because that is not my right. But I will not go and use that word because I don't like it, and I don't even have to bother about saying you are you, me, I am me. Oh, this, yeah, right. I mean, yeah.
But sorry, but I have to add, we all also have beautiful straight cis allies, and I'm really happy that among the IQBCs and in the volunteers team there are also beautiful allies. And this time, when we have exhibitions on Gather Town, there's also a small exhibition of a photo from an ally who just supports us, and I think that is really beautiful. There are these difficulties that we all face all over the world, but slowly, maybe I like to be optimistic, or at the end, I really like to be optimistic and say, yes, there are also allies who support us. And so I have the hope that things slowly will improve. I hope so.
Yeah.
That this is other thing we deal with, and this is one thing, this is another thing which whichever country, whichever part of the world say, soon suddenly it is rainbow capitalism, right? Because that whole they have to create mugs, umbrellas, and then t-shirts and whatever. So I ask a fundamental question to them. Okay, after other months we don't exist, is it? Only in June you want to remember, June you want to invite, only June you want to wear what rainbow t-shirts and then all that. It's good you're doing, but no, you don't have to have a special pride month somewhere. This is all rainbow wash for the rest of the year, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not fun, but it's coming. No?
Yeah.
Um, so, oh, all right. It's a little more than an hour. Uh, I unless you both have anything, I know that, but I also am mindful of the time, and you may be tired and other things. But either you want to say or some message, great. Otherwise, we can slowly go on.
Uh, I will go Champa first. Then
Uh, sorry, I only get the word mindful. I had difficulties. I had difficulties with the sound at the moment, so I'm not sure what were your words about. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm also sorry. Maybe again, unconsciously I keep moving my phone. Said it's more than an hour since we started talking,
Ah, yeah.
and both may be busy and tired, and so it's also going to be 10 p.m. soon over here. It's about 9:40, so it's not too late for me. But anyway, I just thought that maybe we can slowly close this
Yeah.
conversation.
mm,
Before that, Champa, if you want to say something, and I
Okay.
will get
Good.
it, and then
Okay. If it's okay for Koshal,
yeah.
Koshal, are
Yeah.
you okay with that I go
sure,
first?
sure,
Is
sure.
that,
Yes.
yeah? Okay. So I would like to say I love the conversation with you too, and it's always inspiring. And I would like to again um, uh, say that on October 18 to 20 there is already the fourth International Queer Buddhist Conference. This is an annual event, and I invite you all, and please register. It's on the IQBC website, on the schedule there. It says register, and you register via Gumroad. There's there are no costs, only I want to say we are walking uh, on the path of Dharma, so donations are accepted. That would be beautiful, but it's not necessary. If you only insert zero, that is beautiful. Register, and we love to see you there. Thank you.
Okay, some words from you, Kaushal.
Yes, thank you very much for having me, and it's nice to see you and talk with you too, because I think you are seniors, and I mean, as an activist, and you have much experience more than me. I'm just entering this, and I'm doing little works from the beginning. So yes, I think it's very happy moment for me also, and. Yeah, I also like to invite IQBC because I'm also going to share some empowered characters from Buddhism who transgender and who became enlightened. Because in the past few years we never saw this kind of a characters, but after researchers, Jampa gave me chance to talk about that. Jampa gave me chance to reveal them characters in IQBC. So I think people can listen that and share that ideas with other people, and that you can see in Buddhism how the Buddha accept queer people. So that is the most important
Yeah.
thing. And other thing, in the end, I would like to give question to the audience that can you find the gender of the mind? If you can find
Wow.
the gender of the mind,
Beautiful.
please bring that to me, and I like to debate with you in the IQBC. And I would like to invite you join with Rainbow the Europe also because it's a very new movement. And today, before I came to the live, I did first in-person meeting, in-person meditation session with Paris Queer Circle. So it was went very well. So I like to invite people from Europe or all over come join with us also and share our word who living in Europe, and we can work and we can do very good things, and we can find the nirvana after that. Thank you.
Wow,
Over to you.
wow. Okay, actually, you know what, Kaushal? I don't know about senior, junior, big, small, whatever experience. I think one of the most senior queer activists is sitting behind you. You know, the Buddha, right? But I mean, this is out of respect, out of love for the Buddha. Okay, I think. See again here, our what all of us are in or believe, we are not promoting anything. Not that it is wrong to promote, but this is our understanding, our interpretation. Okay, the way we see, the Buddha ourselves in, yeah, and this is, yeah, so if whoever joins now or later they watch the recording, you know, if you can't send us love, don't send us hate, please. Yeah, there's enough and more. I mean, hate is never required. Okay, period. So, and we know there's just too much violence happening everywhere. Okay, completely it is, spiraling into, I mean, like, it's so difficult to find basic humanity kind of thing it is going into. And it's sad that yeah, that I think people are forgetting the Buddha or whoever you believe or follow in, follow or you believe in or follow, or you don't. But I think, yes, all our identities are crucial. We should assert ourselves in a positive way, in a respectful way. This is not preaching, this is just a request that, you know, if like you both said, and even earlier conversations, if we are comfortable with who we are, we will surely be able to accept and respect other humans, whoever, however they are. And it's never that this place is not meant for you just because of your identity in whatever way, or this belief is not so. So that is what hopefully I think, and that is what I think Jabba and everyone else through the conscious connections and through IQBC, where me and another queer friend from India are very honored to participate and present. Okay, that's all we are trying to do, and thanks to all. Uh, let us spread queer joy. Okay, yeah, and that's about it. And yeah, let's continue these conversations. You're welcome to drop any of us a message later, right? And emojis and whatever you want to. Of course, if we find anything disrespectful about that, we may not even respond. We will not attack you or anything, but because sometimes people use the anonymity of the internet to do that also, na? So, right? So, yeah, so that's the thing. And Namo Buddhaya, Dankishon, and let's
Shukriya.
go. Yeah, so to everybody, yeah, thank you.
Bonsoir.
We will, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Vanakkam. Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Lovely. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.